Hello, it's Dave here again from DaveMenzies.com, DM Online Limited. Today's video is going to be about using the Canonical or Canonical, don't know which is the correct pronunciation, but the link which allows you to republish, say, a blog post onto a different platform without being penalised by search engines for duplicate content. If you're not familiar with that term, what I mean is, when you've written a blog, say this is my WordPress blog here, and this is one of the posts that I'm going to actually copy onto another platform, which is Digital Bloggers, which comes with my SFM membership. But normally speaking, when you're syndicating blog posts, it's cool on a lot of social media platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook and so on, to just take the URL from your blog post, which is right here, copy that and paste it, and that way you're really just sharing the link to your page. But in some cases you may want to actually have that content in its entirety published elsewhere. But if you just did that without using the canonical tag or URL, as I'm going to talk about in the video, then search engines will just look at that as duplicate content. So they will only give you rankings on one of the platforms you've got that on. The other one they'll say that's just a copy. So they could, in some cases, actually, a search engine could penalise you for that. But the way you can get around that is to basically tell search engines on the platform that you're copying to that this is actually the original here. So basically it shows that you actually are the author of that piece of content, and although it's appearing somewhere else, you're not trying to spam the system or game the system by getting search engine credit for the same piece of information which is already appearing somewhere else. So all you really need to do is to use this little tag and put it in the header of the site that you're copying the information to, and pop that little bit of code in right on the header, and that way when search engines crawl through your content, they'll see that, okay, yeah, this appears elsewhere, but you're telling them that this is the original piece of information and this is just a copy of it. Okay, so it sounds more complicated than it actually is, so I'm just going to go through it with you by actually going through the process of copying this blog post, which I did some time ago, onto the newly revised Digital Bloggers platform, which I've got open in a different window. So let's just do the copying thing first. Simple as you like. I'm just going to highlight the whole thing. There's a couple of things you need to be aware of, which I'll tell you about, but I'm going to start just by copying this post. Taking a little bit of time to crawl down, bear with me, nearly there. Okay, so that's the post. So I'm now just going to right click and copy. Then I'm going to go over to Digital Bloggers, where I've gone into articles, add new. So I've got this interface, so I'm just going to copy that entire blog post into here, this different platform, just by pressing, in this case, Command V or right click paste, and you can see there it's appeared in there. But there are a couple of problems you've probably noticed already. It hasn't taken the images with it. I'm not going to do that live, but I'll just explain to you what you need to do with most of these, even if you're just copying from one WordPress blog to another. You're still going to have to find those images again, because they won't actually be stored in the image library of the platform you're putting them onto. So what we need to just do is to highlight the images, right click, and again save image as, and just save that somewhere in your desktop, because once you've finished on the other platform, you're going to have to just put those images back on there along with any links that go with them. So it's a little bit more work than just a simple copy and paste. But anyway, let's get to the canonical tag. So I'll finish this later, but just to show you the canonical thing, this here is the URL from the post that I'm copying. Okay, so I'm going to take that URL, and on Digital Bloggers, really simple to do this. Canonical tag is to go to the bottom here where it says meta tags and scripts, and I'm just going to enable that, and I'm going to use this little piece of code which I've got stored somewhere here, canonical code. So it's here. What you need is to grab that piece of code. I'll put that up on the video so you can see what the actual piece of code is more clearly. So this is actually from a previous one that I've done. So the actual piece of code you need is this link rel, this part here, right up to the exclamation marks, and in this part between the two exclamation marks, you're going to post the link that I mentioned earlier. So let's just grab that again. So this again is the link of the post that I'm telling the new platform is the original. So I'm just going to highlight right to the exclamation marks and put in that link from the previous post. I've got one extra dash, so I'll just take that out. Okay, so that's the link to the post that I'm telling this platform is the original blog post. Okay, and the stuff either side of the exclamation marks is the canonical link. Okay, so I'll make that clearer. I'll put an annotation in the video just to make that clearer. So that really is that done. I'm not going to publish this at the moment because I'm not finished, so I'm just going to go to private and just save that, and then I'll update it later on. You'll need to put in your titles again, and as I say, any images and links you will need to manually go and put those back in, but you have told Google or any other search engine by putting this little piece of code in here that this is not the original piece of material, it's a copy, but it's pointing back to the original piece. So it's a really good thing to do to give you a bit more link juice for search engines, but it has to be done in the right way. Now, it's very easy, as I say, on this digital bloggers platform, but say you're going to copy to, say, another WordPress site, then you will need to do one of two things. I've got optimized press on here, so I can just go to my optimized press settings on this one, and I could just pop it in here on the header area. If you don't have optimized press, what you need to do is get a little plugin. So if you go to plugins, add new, and this will be on the site that you're copying to and putting the canonical link into. Okay, so you want to just search for plugins, and you just want something like header and footer. Let's have a look and see what comes up. There you go. So you can see there's tons of plugins that you can find that will allow you to do that. You just add that plugin to the site that you want to copy information to and use the canonical link in. So you just need to make sure you find one, preferably that is tested with your version of WordPress. You can see a lot of these actually aren't for mine, but like I say, I'm using optimized press on mine, so I've got that covered. But if I didn't have, I would just use this one because it says it's compatible with my version. Yeah, so that's really it. I'll give you again the piece of code. I'll put that in a decent sized annotation and just show you where you want to put that piece of code, however you're doing it, whether it's with a plugin or whether you've got optimized press or some other WordPress plugin that already allows you to put information into the header. Okay, so I hope that's been useful to you. Please feel free to subscribe if you found that useful. I've got lots more tutorials and tips on here on syndicating blogs and video marketing and indeed SFM and DEA. So feel free to subscribe to the channel for more from me. And thanks again for watching. Cheers now. Bye bye.